any other person to move bigger or better than Kobe Bryant. Discipline is taking things that you do normally in an extraordinary way, pushing your routine to an extraordinary way. Before you can move, entrepreneurs and everyone listening to me right now, you need to be disciplined on that idea. You need to apply discipline on that vision. You need to apply discipline on that project. I'm trying to keep this very, very short, so I'm going to rush quickly to V. Another major thing you must have in the formula for you to be able to move and execute is velocity. Velocity is movement. Movement in a direction. See, an hamster moves round and round and round in a circle. That is not velocity because it's not moving in a direction. Your idea, you need to move, and velocity is moving fast. Some of you try to wait for things to be perfect before you launch. I remember the founder of LinkedIn when he said that if you launch a product and it's perfect, that means you launched too late. You know what he was trying to tell us? That your product is supposed to be tested and corrected by the market. So that imperfect product, that imperfect book you write, that imperfect idea that you've got, you got to launch. Velocity is moving with speed. Is getting things done with speed. Some of us, we delay many things in our lives because we are waiting for it to be perfect. I used to be a victim of that, so I know what I'm talking about. Velocity is moving before your competitors move. It's launching before your competitors launch. In the formula for getting things done, under this thing, move, velocity is a major aspect of this formula. Now, there is a very, very different denominator in this formula that I gave you, and that is the R. If you notice with the R, I said R squared, R raised to power 2. And the reason why R is raised to power 2 is that every form of R comes in double version. What is R? R is resistance. Now, when you have clarity, when you have discipline, when you have velocity, multiplying them together and moving in the direction of success, resistance will come. And resistance doesn't just come, it comes raised to power 2. It comes with a bigger force. It's the only factor here in this formula that is working against you. Now, listen to me very carefully. Some of you will think that I want to do my business, I want to launch this idea, I want to grow. When this resistance stops, you're making a big mistake. You are not supposed to wait for resistance to stop, because the presence of resistance shows that your idea or your business or your vision already makes sense. It is the certification you need to show that your business is on the right direction. But what then am I trying to say? Move in the presence of resistance. Walk in the presence of resistance. Event in the presence of resistance. Because the more resistance you have, the more validation you have about this idea, about that vision of yours. The resistance can come in different format. It comes in different distractions. Some of you, your distraction comes with your friends. It comes with your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your relationship. Some resistance can even come from your parents. Some resistance can come from the closest person, because the devil will not use a total stranger. It will bring in something that will take away that vision and that idea away from you. Guys, we are talking about movement. And when you need to move, resistance will come in all fashion. And that is why you have to multiply all this to be able to divide it versus the resistance raised to power 2 in your life. Now, what am I trying to say? In all essence, I am saying that movement is powerful. Movement is the ultimate thing. You can have this idea, you can have this vision, you can have this plan about your life, but if you're not moving towards it, nothing is going to happen. And you cannot move without clarity. You cannot move without discipline. You cannot move without velocity, moving with speed and time and space and direction. You cannot move, and while you are moving, remember that the resistance would come. It will come raised to power 2, and you have to go through that friction, through that resistance, to be able to get to success. Now, one of the major things you must understand is this. When you have a high velocity, high clarity, high discipline, and high resistance, there's room for success. But when you have low D, a low V, low velocity, divided by a high resistance, because resistance will always be high, that is a tragedy in making. It's a silent tragedy in your business and your vision. Why am I saying this? Some of you need to go back to your drawing board and begin to evaluate yourself. What is my resistance like? Now, the resistance around me is very high. Let's look at my formula. Am I clear? What's my clarity like? What's my discipline like? What is my velocity like? If everything is on a low, unfortunately, you're going nowhere. you are moving nowhere. And I charge you all this morning, please increase this formula that I've given you. Apply your clarity. Get more clarity about your vision. Study more about that vision. Go to places and conferences like this where you can understand and learn more about these ideas that you have. The velocity, move into that vision. Jump on it on time. Execute on time. Sometimes decisions delayed is worse than decisions never made. Do not delay decisions that you should have done. Jump on it right on time. Most importantly, discipline. You need to be disciplined. Most of the things you said you are going to do, 2026 is almost getting to the end of the year. What is happening? All the small little things that you need to do, like I told you, discipline is the boring secret of champions. It is a secret that champions use. All the big names you see, the Messis of this world, the Ronaldos of this world, the Steve Jobs of this world, the Mark Zuckerberg and many others, is the discipline that they have in executing their project is what makes them different than an ordinary man. And there is no way we can speak about discipline without talking about focus. You know, I think it was like that you guys will know this man called Bruce Lee, but I'm sure there's some older generations in the room right now. Bruce Lee was the one that said that a perfect warrior is an ordinary man with a laser focus. That is to show how powerful focus is. Guys, you need to focus. Focus is the economy of attention. Whenever you give your focus is when you apply your discipline. Do not let all the unnecessary things distract you. From social media, to unnecessary friends, to unnecessary relationships, to unnecessary things that takes you off your vision, off your idea. Apply focus. Apply discipline. And above all, put this formula together and never forget it to apply it in life. Once again, E equals C times D times V divided by R raised to power 2. Hold on to this formula and always remember that this is the formula to success. Move, and may God move with you. My name is Sumis McFrancis, and I am nothing without God. Thank you very much.
That was so good. It felt as if it was right in this room. So much value, so much gems, so much insightful points. And did you see that formula? Did you see that formula? Please hold on to it. Thank you so much, Dr. Sumis McFrancis. I don't know if he's watching us right now, but we just want you to know that we appreciate this session and we can never recover from this insightful session. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to also share some of the outstanding points that I picked from that session. He said, we do not celebrate efforts, we celebrate results. So until your efforts transforms into results, don't rest, keep moving. I want us to echo that. Don't rest, keep moving. All right, so let's do a brief energy check before we move into our next session. I'm going to echo Transformation 5.0, and you're going to scream, move. Are you ready? All right. So let's go. 1, 2, go. Transformation 5.0. We can do better. Transformation 5.0. Thank you very much. Okay, so right about now, apologies for the noise. Please don't be distracted, because some of you have been like, are we safe? Don't worry, we're safe. Okay, so now I'm about to invite another performer on stage. I'm always very excited when I get to meet spoken word artists. And you know why? There's a track story to that. I've tried so many things in my lifetime, so many things I have failed in as well. And at a point, I thought it was going to be, after failing in numerous things, I thought it was going to be this one. I am certain that this spoken word, I will do it and I will prevail. But unfortunately, I did not prevail. So when I see people who are prevailing, I celebrate them. So right now, we're about to invite on stage a spoken word artist, someone to sprinkle some spices on everything we've been listening so far. So you're going to put your beautiful hands together and join me to welcome on stage Please let's start clapping. Thank you very much. Feku Erite Emmanuel. Please put your hands together.
Oh Lord!
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, first of all, Mommy, good afternoon. I want to say thank you so much for this privilege. To all our amazing speakers, welcome. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome each and every single one of you here this afternoon. So, my name is Feku Erite, and I'm here with a spoken word piece that I titled after the theme for this event, which is Move. Now, scattered across this room this afternoon are young minds. Some are clear about life, some are not clear about what next to do. Some are here because this is the last strand of hope they have for their future. This is the last strand of hope they have for the next phase of their life. Many of us came into this world without having a clue of what our life was all about. We came like an open book with every single day writing different chapters. We are wondering, what is in the next chapter for me? Even when we celebrate our birthdays, we don't even know what is going to happen on the next day. But we keep hoping, at least I'll be alive to see another day. Now let's move from the known to the unknown. When we look at Nigeria, we see the headlines, we see corruption, we see insecurity, we see flood. We see a lot of failed promises and broken systems. I'm almost moved to tears because many of us have been so used to this kind of life and environment that we do not even believe there is a better future out there. Many of us blame the government. Most people blame the economy. Most people blame their parents. Most people blame their leaders. Some even blame their history. Everybody is pointing fingers. But yet, we are not pointing finger at the main thing, which I call the mirror. I say the mirror because the mirror does not lie. The mirror does not flatter you. The mirror does not campaign. The mirror does not encourage you. It tells you the truth the way it is. Many of us have been used to a life whereby we do not even see possibilities outside our current realities. Many of us have gone to certain states and we saw certain things and we came back to our own state and we wondered, do we also have a governor? Do we also have politicians? But the issue has always remained that Nigeria will not just change, the political system will not just change because we hope and desire for a change. We are most times looking at the governments like they are our God. But sometimes, God is not just counting on our government. He's counting on us. We are waiting for transformation so desperately. But are you sure that the transformation you so desperately wait for is not necessarily waiting for you? You are sitting here pointing out problems every single day. You come online and everybody is quick to see your reactions. But nobody has seen your creations yet. God saw that the world was dark. He didn't just say, let there be light. He created. You are also a creator. Don't just see problems, see possibilities. Every great entrepreneur sitting right here will tell you that when there is a mountain, it means that this is an opportunity for me to climb to an high altitude. But many of us see it as an opportunity for us to pedestal at a level and just stay at that present reality that we have seen in our lives. Dr. Sumi Smart, about 4 years ago, in this same auditorium, said something. And he gave a story of two young boys. They went to an alpha. And the alpha told one that you will never see an airplane in your life. And he said that young man went ahead to fight for his destiny. And said, why would I not see an airplane? What have I done? And he tried all he could. And eventually he entered an airplane. And at the end of that story, he said it was that young man. Now he's flying business class only. He's meeting top executives, presidents all across the world. That same young man that never saw possibilities while growing up. But he believed that it was possible for him. When I look at the life of my mommy seated right here, I read her book, Purpose in Rejection, as a teenager at the age of 16. And I tell you, I was almost moved to tears. Because we saw a woman that was rejected. Rejected because of her faith. Rejected because they thought she failed. Oh, you are a woman, you can't do this. But there she is today. One of the top quantity surveyors in the nation. not just in the States. Please, a round of applause for her. But there is one consistent thing about these people. They did not allow their current circumstances and realities define their lives. They forged their own paths. Yes, their life came as an open book. They chose to write the story themselves. They didn't let their environment write it for them. They didn't let the country write it for them. Many of you, the pen to your destiny is in your hands. But for a long time, you have given a stranger to write your story. When somebody writes your story, you never can tell what they will put in that book. I always like the story of the lepers. There was no possibility in that land. People were starving, about to die. The prophet said, by this time tomorrow, those lepers were never there to hear the prophecy, but they took a step of faith. Those lepers went ahead into an unknown and uncharted territory. They said, if they die, they die. They just wanted to see what will happen if I step out. Mind you, they were lepers. They were not physically able. And those same lepers that were not necessarily there when God spoke a word, but because they were able to take a move, they got everything that God wanted those people to get. There are so many of us here, and this is for us believers. God has said a lot about your lives. Just like my journal here, you have a lot of prophecies. You have a lot of things written. I remember when mommy would teach us every single Monday by 9 p.m. And she would tell us, write what you want to see in your life. I was still 15-year-old. And mommy will write what she wanted to do. She will write the plans for the year. Mommy will teach us to journal. And it will look like we are wasting our time. Oh, just maybe 9 of us on the WhatsApp group. But here we are today. Those same prophecies, they are no longer in a book. They are now the reality you see seated all around here. But it did not just happen because God said it. It happened because somebody moved. You will never know if you can walk on water if you don't step out in faith. You are water walkers, but you will never know if you don't step out in faith. They always say, a moving man will always meet his opportunity. Your next opportunity is waiting for just a step. Because sometimes you think you will take 1,000 miles to get to your destination. How are you sure that the next 3 steps will not take you to your future? Think about it. I always say, I travel to Lagos with 10 naira. I'll just drop with my story and close. I traveled to Lagos with 10 naira not because I was certain about how my journey was going to be. I left Akure because I knew my next level was there. I entered the vehicle. I said, if they beat me here, they beat me. But I'm going to go on this journey. And I tell you, God came through eventually. And I might not be able to share the story today. But it taught me a powerful lesson, which I believe every young person here needs to listen to. You can also move. If you can't run, at least walk. If you can't walk, at least crawl. Whatever you do, don't stop moving. A moving man will always meet his opportunities. Whatever you do, always move. So, move. Thank you so much.
Okay. Put your hands together. Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have moving men in this room? Do we have moving men in this room? Do we have people who are ready to break off their comfort zones in this room? Do we have people who are ready to move from potential to proof in this room? Please put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you very much, Emmanuel, Erite. When the instrumental started, I just knew we're in for a lot. And we are pumped up, aren't we? I believe we are leaving this auditorium with fire in our bones. Am I correct? All right, thank you very much. Thank you once again, Erite, Emmanuel. It was so beautiful listening to you this afternoon. Okay, so let's do a bit of energy check again before we move into our next session. We know how we do it, right? Transformation 5.0. Let's make it louder. Transformation 5.0. Thank you very much. Now let's go the traditional way. Greatest Nigerian student. Yes. Greatest go-go. It can be louder. Greatest go-go. Greatest baba. Are we hungry already? Ha. You guys cannot even hide your teeth and keep it and just say, no, I'm fine. Are we hungry already? All right, don't worry, we're rounding up shortly. And we're about to move into one of the most interesting sessions of this conference. However, we're going to have a short charge from each of the panelists. We're about to get into the fireside chat session. You can see the chairs already assembled here, and our speakers are ready to set us more on fire. However, we would have each of the panelists come up stage and charge us for a bit before we move into the fireside session. And to lead that conversation, DJ, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. And to move us in that conversation, to kickstart that journey, would be someone I have been looking forward to listen to. Someone who, by the time it's done, you guys might probably be jumping on your seat already. And it will be taking us on a brief session. It will be taking us on a brief session, a charge to encourage us to continue to move and never stop moving. However, before I bring him on stage, I would like us to please turn our attentions to the screen as we read his citation. Thank you very much.
Otto Ijamo boasts of 15 years of experience in face-to-face sales and marketing, cutting through career in technology, pharmaceutical, tourism, and hospitality. His creativity, coupled with his ability to evaluate value drivers and communicate them effectively, stand out. Over the years, Otto have won many awards, including Sanofi Award of Excellence, Lisbon 2018, Regional Champion Award, Paris 2016, the Champions for Customer Africa Award, Amsterdam 2017, and notably Pan-African Youth Leadership Award, Dubai 2022. He founded Visit Nigeria with a hope to improve on inbound tourism to Nigeria. His effort on this project got him the invitation to lead the team on Nigerians' digital presence at Dubai Expo 2020. Otto recently invested in hospitality through his Aristo Africana project. The modern and typically Africa-themed restaurant is one of a kind and known to always provide happiness to visitors. He owns 2 other restaurants, Madison, an industrial-styled fast food restaurant, and Malibu by Aristo, which is a state-of-the-art upscale fine dining space in Akure. His special interest in healthcare, tech, tourism, and hospitality is swiftly establishing his global presence and influence.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and join me to welcome on this noble stage, Mr. Madison. Let the applause keep rolling. Come on.
Thank you. She said Mr. Madison. Mr. Otto. Hello, good morning, everyone here. Yes, my name is Mr. Otto, not Mr. Otto. So I'm here this morning to push you to move. I was talking to Madam, and thank you very much for putting all of this together. I know how much work I've gone into this. And I want to say thank you to everyone who created time to be here. We have so much busy schedule. And of course, the economy is not very friendly. So every minute, every hour matters so much. There are a lot of things those of us seated here could have done with our time. But we are seated here today because we really just want to move. And I want to say thank you to Mrs. Momo for doing the Lord's work, putting all of this together. This morning, I have 10 minutes here. I will try to tell you a few stories. I'll share stories. And then I would maybe convince you to see reasons to move. So by naturally, I love fast cars. I love cars that are very fast. So chances are that I will never buy some of those popular cars on Nigerian roads because they're not fast enough. But there's a problem. And the problem is the fact that we don't have roads for very fast cars. So what I'm trying to do now is to look at those cars that are fast, but that can adapt to our terrain, but I love it fast. It's a weakness. I'm sorry. Some say I'm very disciplined. I don't think I'm very disciplined with cars, but I love fast cars. But then there's a problem. And the problem stems from the fact that no matter how good the engine of a car is, no matter how powerful the engine that propels the car is, you will not be able to steer a car to whatever direction you want, except if the car is on motion. No matter how you try, no matter how much love I have for cars, no matter how much I love the speed, you will not be able to propel it to whatever direction you want, except you put the car in motion first. And that reminds me how important movement is. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. Most people fail because they choose to stay in the same place for too long. Many of us have found ourselves so comfortable with where we are, what we do. We are comfortable with the barest minimum. We are just fine. Nigeria today, I was discussing with some young people some days ago, and I was telling them that in Nigeria, we are used to the barest minimum. You call a bricklayer, a mason, to do some job for you, and then he will do very shady, shabby, rubbish job, and he will say, Egmon, we'll try now. I won't come over. Should you buy no law? You call a mechanic, and then he does rubbish to your car and says, Musha, we'll try now. Try is not enough. But our people are so comfortable with the barest minimum. I said people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail mostly because they've chosen to stay in the same place for a very long time. The truth is, perfection rarely comes before movement. Movement drives perfection. It is when you move, it is when you make progress that you can actually stand and say that they have been able to effect desired change. Friends, this morning, I hope that this meeting won't just go like every other meeting. I hope that not only are we going to make the most of this meeting, we'll take something out of here, practical, and we'll forge practical steps that can take us to our desired goals. Movement doesn't always mean making giant leaps. Sometimes I speak to young people and they tell me, I have this idea, I have this idea, I want to do this, but there's a problem, there's no money. They give you all the reasons why something is not working. People tell you, I want to do this, but I lost my mom. And the reason why I'm not educated is because my dad died very early and my mom had to bear it alone. But then there are a lot of persons who have also passed through the same or worse situations like you, but they are flying. Then what is the difference? The difference is the decision. Sometimes it means sending that application. Sometimes it means starting that business idea. You have an idea. Some days ago, I needed to test the waters with a business. And my little daughter had a birthday recently. And I was like, okay, let me test this product I want to launch by putting it in the souvenirs, So I made souvenir for everybody. And I put the gifts there. And then a week after the party, I called some of those people I have their contact, and I asked them, there's this product in your gift bag. Tell me about it. I was able to test the waters with that product, and I think I'll be putting money around there now. That is how it works. It's about having something in mind and taking action. And then learning a new skill. Some of us are here, we don't read books, I'm sorry, let me talk to young people now. There's a problem with TikTok. There's a problem. There's a big problem. We are consuming content. We are consuming diverse contents. in Africa, particularly Nigeria, is consuming so much content. We have a lot of content creators in Nigeria. And these guys have gotten to know that what drives value most in the content space are funny skits. Now we have skit makers. I've moved around Paris. I've moved around many European cities, and I've struggled to see people who call themselves skit makers. But skits sell here because vanity mostly sell here. Whatever will waste people's time here sells here. Whatever will make people laugh their future out sells here. Friends, this is a charge to young persons in this room tonight, this morning or afternoon, to start seeing problems as it is. There's a problem with the time we spend consuming useless digital products. Let us spend time on applications that edify us. How many of us seated in this room have reading book apps like Scribe, like apps we used to read? How many of us have it? You'll be surprised. But a majority of people seated in this room today have TikTok. There's a problem. Reading one chapter many years ago, I knew I was going to be successful. I knew. Trust me, I knew. And I'm not even successful yet. So, many years ago, I knew when success comes, I will likely not have time to study the Bible as I used to when I was on campus. I want to give you examples, real life examples. When I was on campus, I was very fervent. I belonged to a fellowship where, great power of God, great man of God in flesh. That was me. But I knew that the requirements of the life that is coming and the success that will follow may not grant me the time to study as I should. So I decided at some point to invest time in, I want to go through the entire scriptures. I want to read through the Bible several times and all of that. It was when I hold the Bible and I see how thick it is, I feel it is so difficult. But all I needed to do was to start with a chapter. Some of you just need to start with a chapter today. Some of you need to pick a book and start with a chapter today. It was yesterday we called today tomorrow. In no time, you will have been done with the entire book. Friends, I'm charging you this morning to take ownership of your life. Make that phone call. Don't be scared. Push that call. Don't say you'll do it tomorrow. Have that difficult conversation. There's a conversation you think you're not having because you're scared. I think now is the time to take it. Push that call through. Take that courageous step. I want to share with you a short story. Many years ago, I had this auntie who, I grew up in Ibadan. So she comes all the way from Port Harcourt. Whenever she comes to see us, to see my family, she spends money. She throws money around. And I was always blown to bits when I see this auntie spending money. And then my dad said, oh, she runs a restaurant in Port Harcourt. And that's why she has so much money. She runs restaurants. So I was like, okay. One day I will go visit Auntie Tessie in Port Harcourt. Then I had this I finished from university, fresh graduate, fresh boy. And then I picked my bags, awaiting service. I traveled to Port Harcourt. That was the longest trip I'd done at that time, moving from Ilorin to Port Harcourt. Fast forward, this auntie was always coming to Ibadan to spend money. And so I thought when I get to Port Harcourt, it was going to be a beautiful life. You know, I dropped at the park. She was so excited. She was a bit old. She was around 45, yet wasn't married. She was single, and life wasn't very good for her. Family was, at that time far away. And I got to Port Harcourt. She was waiting at the park. She picked me, and then she took me through diverse corral. And that was when I was gonna know that there's something called bacha. I never knew there's anything called bacha, before then. And then we went through houses built with wood, and then we walked into the waters, and then we got to a house, and then she said, "This is my house." We had walked through a gutter, and then I I had to climb and then climb into the house, and it's a warm apartment with so many people staying there. And I was like, Auntie Tessie, I had told you I would spend 3 months. How will I cope? How will I survive here? Friends, that was the toughest 3 months of my life. Yeah, she runs restaurants. How does she do it? She has a small, tiny balcony. And then every morning she wakes up 5 a.m. to make food. She will cook rice, pasta. She will cook all the food and then put it on a wheelbarrow. And then she pushes to a junction every morning to sell. Crazy experience. I've never seen anything like that. I knew I was not built for that. I've never seen suffering that much. I thought I was suffering where I came from. But I saw suffering pro max. And the funny thing is, it's a community where I happened to be the only graduate at that time. So she was so proud of me. Everywhere we're going to, she's introducing me. Hey, see my nephew. She just kept introducing me. Fast forward. The first day, I woke up in the morning. I wanted to use the restroom. She took me a very far distance, like 4 houses away. I'm sorry I'm taking your time, but it will be worth it. She took me a long distance. I used the restroom. I got back home. I woke up. I was like, should I go or stay? I called my dad. My dad said, hey, guy, you have to stay. 3 months. So she prepared the food, and I saw her pushing it. I attended Christ Embassy back on campus. It's Jerichoid air. Well-tailored, nice, talking as a graduate, talking your shirt. And then I helped her push wheelbarrow. We got to the point where she was selling. I saw the way she was selling, how she would make 16 to 20K at that time at Elekaya every day. And I saw the value chain around the food business. First hand, I saw how my auntie would go to market, buy something at X amount and sell it at Y amount. I saw the margin, but because she wasn't educated, she wasn't brushed up properly for the business, she was making enough money to just make her survive. I saw the loopholes in the business, and now she can turn that business to a fortune. For 3 months, I painstakingly stayed. It was one of the most difficult moments of my life. I still say it. Friends, while I was there, I started writing. Some of the notes I wrote at that time are still available today. I wrote how I will own some of the biggest restaurants in Nigeria because I've learned how to run the business for my auntie who was struggling to do it. Friends, my life changed forever. Changed forever. I would like to paint the story of a river. Sometimes you say a river is fresh. You call it fresh water. Fresh water is a moving river. If it's not moving, it's not fresh water. If you want your life to continue to be fresh, you want your life to continue to be useful, you have to create a deliberate attempt, a burning desire to continuously move non-stop. You cannot afford to be stagnant. You need to move away from excuses, move away from procrastination, which is a major problem for the black people. Myself and a friend were analyzing footballers generally. And in the history of football, you see that white footballers tend to succeed better than their black counterparts. I don't know why, but that's what I've personally noticed. And we're able to conclude that discussion with something. By nature, we are naturally impatient. The average black man is naturally impatient. We want to beat the light on the traffic light. We want to run. In Lagos, there's hustle and bustle. Everything is rough. We need to learn as young people to be calm, calculative, and desire to move. Desire to continue to move. We need to quit indiscipline, quit excuses, quit negative friendship. If someone is not giving you required impact, please let them shift. I've had reasons in my life to tell certain persons, I'm sorry, I need to create space. We need to part ways. I've had to sometimes say it. If I'm trying to move and the person is trying to drag me, I tell him, I think we're not on the same frequency. I need to move. Move towards discipline. Move towards excellence. There's a decay of excellence in Africa. Move towards trust. Trust is today the most prized asset in Africa. It's the most valued asset. It's lacking. Move towards trust. Move towards opportunities. You need to move towards purpose. And most importantly, you need to move towards how you take life serious. And I took this from the book of Titus chapter 2 and verse 6. A version says, tell young men among you to take life serious. It means there's a tendency that young people will take life with so much levity. It says, tell young men among you to take life serious. You don't need to have everything figured out today, because you just need to move. You only need enough courage. That's all you need, courage and consistency. Let me share with you how we built Aristo. I don't know if I still have 2 minutes or 3. I was lucky. I got a job in a multinational company, and I was well paid. I was one of the biggest boys at that time, for my age in Nigeria. I got a very good job. When you say, God, this favor market, when people go for service, and then you see posts say, favor market, go into favor market. Yes, I suffered for 2 years, but then I went at favor market. I got a good job with a multinational company, good money, good car, good housing, good everything. I was fine. In fact, I had worked only 9 years, and that company have taken me to 40 countries. It's so good that every year the company will ask you, you need to take a break from work. Which country would you like to go? And then I will decide, yes, is that good? In Nigeria, is that good? They say, which country do you want to go for your vacation? And I will mention it. They'll book my ticket. They'll give me some money, and I'll travel, and I'll come back. Is that good? I was fine. I did not need to open Aristo. I was earning very good amount of money. But at some point at Radisson Blu, we had a meeting. We were having a meeting, and my direct boss was coming upon the team for poor performance. He was saying all sorts. And I asked myself, with all the things I know and with the capacity I have, I think I need to create something different from the conventional that I'm used to in this company. So I took 6 million naira, recruited 3 staffs, and then later we added 2, and then we built the first Aristo. 6 million. 2 weeks before then, I was in club. Before we opened Aristo, I was in a club at the mall called O2 Base. Yes, O2 Base. And I was a young boy. That boy should not be more than 19 or 20 years old. He spent 13 million to buy alcohol. They used alcohol to wash their wristwatches. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. They spent 13 million drinking alcohol, but they are taking 6 million to build a tiny restaurant very far away from the main city center of Akure. Friends, fast forward 5 years. That's 6 million. I've eaten over 4.5 billion. And I've moved the staff strength from the initial 3 to what we have now, around 180 in the food industry. We have companies, we have vendors who cannot survive today if they don't sell to us. That is some of the impacts of choosing to move. At that time when I was building, everyone said it was a stupid move. That place is too far. Why would we come there to eat? Some of my friends said they would never come there. Like 11 matter. A lot of people came upon us for making that move. Some of my colleagues at work said, you have a good job. You want to resign to go and you have a good job. My company was a company that if you were resigning, your parents would call you. telling you, they will ask you. Let me tell you, I bought 4 cars from that company at 2,000 naira. They buy you a car. When you are tired, you tell them, I'm tired of this car, I want to change it. Pay 2,000. I bought 4 at 2,000 naira. I had no reason to leave. But you know the funny thing? Today, I can pay half of the staffs in that company, as big as that money was at that time. That is the power of decision to move. As I close this morning, I want you to know this, that as you live here today, I want you to ask yourself one question. What is that one move I can make today that my future self will thank me for? What is that thing you need to do your future self will thank you for? What you need to do may just be a decision to read. What you need to do may be a decision to learn a skill. What you need to do may be a decision to marry. Some of us, we think we are still young, and I still have. Today is Friday. Friends, don't wait till Monday. Act now. Don't wait until next month or next year. Some of us will say, I'm saving up. Don't, hey. Act. No matter how little, start something. Don't wait until someone believes in you. You need to learn to believe in yourself. What you will become in 10 years, you are already becoming. You are becoming already. You are already swaying into the future without knowing, unconsciously. Believe in yourself. Trust God. Prepare yourself and move. Because opportunity moves. A young man that was earlier, said, a moving man will find his luck. A moving man will one day wonder, while wandering about, will find his luck. Time moves. The world moves. If you don't move with it, you risk being left behind. Let me tell you, whenever people move, and you are caught stagnant, you are actually, without knowing, on reverse gear. Because everyone has moved. And the longer they move, the farther they go away from you. So because of the value of time, because of the impact of time, your life is on reverse gear. Learn continuously. Work diligently. Serve faithfully. And most importantly, I'm charging you this afternoon to move. I want to say thank you very much to Mrs. Momo for putting all of this together. I want to say thank you to everyone seated here this afternoon.
Put your hands together.
Oh, yeah.
Turn me up. Fire.
Please put your hands together.
Oh, Lord.
That was both deep and transformational. I see that his story kept us trapped to our seats. I could see our faces were nodding. He was entering, right? Did he enter? He entered, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Otto. Thank you for that transformational session. I believe that nobody is walking out of this room the same way that they came in. That was highly inspiring. Can we please echo and say thank you so much, sir? Together. Futa, can you make it louder? Thank you so much, sir. We're indeed so grateful. All right, I told you before he got on stage that this is a prelude to the panel session. So, when you have a tasty plate of food in front of you, when you take the first spoon, you can tell that this one is banged, and you know what to expect, right? Now, this is just the first taste. We are going to experience more before the panelists come on stage. And to take us on the next session, by the way, before we move into the next session, please, I want to encourage you, if you have questions, please begin to write down your questions and prepare your minds before the panel session comes forth. All right, so we're about to move into the next charge. Interesting. We're about to move into the next charge, and to take us into the next charge is no other person but Pastor Dotun. Adejumo. But before he comes off stage, I would like us to please listen attentively to his citation. Thank you very much. Media, please.
Agape Christian Ministries with a goal of raising the complete youth. He was previously the lead pastor of Agape Christian Ministries, Lekki Branch, Lagos, which he led for 5 years before being transferred to the headquarters. He is a teacher of the word and a God chaser. He holds a B.Hand in Information and Communication Engineering and Masters in Project Management. He worked at Skulumberha and Chevron for 6 years prior to full-time ministry. He is the managing director of Caris Farm, specializing in livestock and crop production, managing director of Caris Life Hospital with branches in Ondo and Osun State, and CEO of Dionet. He is married to his heartthrob, Adebimpe, and their home is blessed with 2 princesses.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please put your beautiful hands together. You're welcome, sir.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Are you tired? Good afternoon, everyone. It's my joy being here today. I'd like to first start off by appreciating our beautiful host. Thank you so much, ma. And to your lovely husband. So good to meet you, sir. Thank you so much. And everyone here today. Professor, thank you for setting the stage. The young man that took that short charge, that was solid. And of course, my brother, thank you so much. I don't have my laptop here, so I won't take your time. I think we can just get straight into the session because we've heard so much from these sound minds speaking to us. See, I'm just going to mention a few things to you quickly. Nobody arrives by mistake. If you forget anything, don't forget that as you live today. Nobody arrives suddenly. We are a cumulative effect of the steps that we take. Do you understand? Every single decision you make from now in the university is what will accumulate into what you become in life. It's that simple. It's not magic. See, I'll give an instance. By privilege, I was there when our church started, Agape Christian Ministries. I was a young boy, 2 years old or so then. Today, next month, we're celebrating 38 years. So I'm just over 40. Now, I say that because I grew through the system. I served, I walked, I experienced everything. I also saw my egbons back then. Many of them attended FUTA. And I saw their lifestyle. I saw the things that they were doing. Now, when I see what they are doing now, it is easy for me to correlate what they were doing then and say, oh, he did this and this. She did this and this. That is why he is doing this now. Do you understand? The last time I got the chance to speak here, to a different audience, I mentioned one of the FUTA graduates who is an uncle of mine as well, who used to, his family lives down the road, but he would rather stay in our house then. And today is the country manager for Dell EMC in Nigeria. All right? From here. And what that reminds me of every single time, because we are so quick to say, oh, my environment, my this, my that. We have excuses for why we are where we are in life. We are so quick to say, oh, I am not succeeding because my father is this one. I come from a humble background. There's nothing like that. Tell you, there's nothing like that. You are a product of your decision from this moment. You're a product of your decision. What comes out of your life, it is based on the decisions you make. When I was much younger, we used to live in Obaile back then in a rented house, and we lived opposite this family who were well-to-do. Their father was an engineer. They're thriving, Now, we had dogs, local dogs. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Local dogs. Dogs that you call peace, bingo, faithfulness. You know the stuff of dogs? Dogs that can eat about with you. You know the kind of dogs I'm talking about. All right? Just little dogs. They were aggressive, but you can kick them away once you just do something. except for some of them. Anyway, so these neighbors of ours, they had Alsatian dogs. Now, that's the first time there was anything like that. I'm talking about some over 30 years ago. All right? 20-something, 30 years ago. They had Alsatian dogs. Now, this particular day, we were playing in their compound. Now, they didn't have a security guard. Because, again, if you have such dogs, what do you need a security guard for? Right? So their security guard house had these two Alsatian dogs in it. We were playing in the compound. And while we were playing, I suddenly saw the owners of the house, that's my friends, they were running for their lives towards the door. Now, if you are in someone's house and the owner of the house is running, you know that you're in trouble. So I looked and I realized that these two dogs, their cage had opened suddenly. And they were out. My siblings were with them. They were close to the door. Me, I was the farthest from the door. I knew that if I ran towards that door, the dogs would obviously catch up with me. So I ran to the back, thinking I was safe. Unfortunately for me, I became the only target for the dogs. So they started chasing me. Now, the conclusion of this story is that I found myself on the roof of their house. Somebody should ask Hazal now. See, their brothers, their uncles were the ones that came to bring me down from that place. I went back to the house. You know, after you have such an experience, you will go back. You will think about your life. How did it happen? Whether I developed claws to climb, I don't know. Whether angels carried me, I don't know till today. But that is all I know, that I found myself at this place. But that experience taught me something. Nothing is impossible for me to do. Nothing is impossible for me to do. Magic did not carry me up there. It is still my strength, somehow, instinct to survive, that got me there. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes we need a force to push us to experience and understand our potential. We need to move to become all God has called us to be. We need to stop giving excuses. My brother was sharing with you how he had to stay with his auntie, right, for 3 months, and that was traumatic for him. But what are the odds that she was selling food and today is selling food at a different level? At a larger scale. I was telling to the lovely lady that was interviewing me outside that when you take a cup of water, it is half full, right? If you call it half full, you are correct. If you call it half empty, you are still correct. What is the difference? Your perspective. Your perspective. Every single experience that you go through is a part of your process. It is to form you. It is to shape you. You can either complain through it and say, why is this happening? Is it me, my head, my shoulder, my this? Or you can choose to grow through it. When I started business, I also worked in a good company, all right? And I had some resources. So I took those resources, I came to Ondo State, and I took a loan. I won't forget, 9 point something million, 10 million. And I poured every single thing in my business. Now, for him, he replicated his own money. For me, my money disappeared. Do you understand? Because I felt that, once I have money, let me just throw it into something, into agriculture. I lost, even if I had bought cars, at least I would say that, at least this money went into this. I lost every single thing. And then I went back to the basics to understand how to grow, how to manage. Have you realized that all these people that win American lottery, win millions of money, billions, none of them is among the wealthiest people on earth. None of them. Do you understand? So you have to grow capacity, and everybody has spoken about it today. Build yourself up. Every single thing that you need to succeed is already in your hands. I tell you something, when you're done today, take your phone. Most of us use mobile apps, right? Go and check your 1 month bank statement. You think you're a student, check it. You will see how much has gone through your account. You'll be shocked. The last time I was going to the embassy and I did that, I was like, how now? That is not possible. But that's the fact. You must grow. God would always ask you, what do you have in your hands? The first time that I did poultry business, I started off with 200 birds. I could not sell those birds. People were coming to price them ridiculously. They were saying, it is too fat, it is too expensive, it is too this. I had to beg someone, literally, to buy those products. Today, the story has changed because of consistency. One of my clients is my brother here. We can't even meet his we can't even meet his supply. All right? We have a capacity of over almost 10,000 for layers. For broilers, we have about 4,000, and currently we are building to expand to 10,000 capacity, and that is just one phase of the project. One of my clients I used to supply to back then, I would give them 1 ton of chicken, and that 1 ton, it would have taken me over a month to produce it. And the person would say to me that, what you are giving me, if you can give me 10 tons every week, I will take it in this Akure. So you keep saying, it's not possible, it's not enough, I don't have. Hey, wake up. Wake up. People are doing great things, and nothing exempts you from being among them. From this same footer, one of the students from this same footer that I know, and I know the person that also bought the company, built something up, some, not just a platform now, some whatever, and they sold it for $1 million in this school. Please tap your neighbor, wake up. Thank you.
Turn it up, turn it up. Oh Lord.
Thank you so much, Pastor Dotun Adejumo. Let's keep clapping. Come on, let's keep clapping. It's been a lot of value in the room. It's been a lot of value in the room. Thank you for that inspirational story. Thank you for the insight. You are just imprinted impact on the lives of everyone that has listened to you this afternoon, and we're indeed so grateful. Please, let's put our hands together once again. Okay, so while the session was going on, I caught some individuals doing something very wrong. So now we want to publicly expose them. You're saying, So we're going to do a song together. It's a very old rhyme. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it that you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're sleeping and you know it, clap your hands. You see what I said? I said we're going to publicly expose them. If you're sleeping and you know it, clap your hands. You guys have repented. Very good. Please put your hands together for yourself once again.
Oh Lord.
Thank you very much. I'm about to invite the panel anchor to this delectable platform this afternoon. However, it's also imperative that I inform you that we're going to have a documentary playing on the screen. So please do well to, as you pay attention to the panel session, also pay a little attention to the documentary playing on the screen. I have the greatest honor and privilege this afternoon to welcome on stage the beautiful, elegant, excellent, she's like, why? Excellent looking Mrs. Precious. Please put your hands together for her as she'll be leading the panel conversation this afternoon. You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Forgotten.
Thank you so much.
Some waiting to be seen.
Thank you so much, Ma, for this beautiful opportunity. And I think I will continue from where she stopped. She said something about move. So when I say move, I expect you to respond, the future awaits the movers. Move! That's so weak. Are we sleeping? Move! All right, I think we're getting there, but I believe after the panel session for today, we'll be so charged up that we'll start moving left, right, and center to the right direction. Okay, thank you so much, Thank you so much, Pastor Dotun, for that wonderful session. Thank you, Mr. Ato. We are so overwhelmed, and I would say that we are immersed in gratitude for this. So I would not be doing this alone. I'll be welcoming our beautiful guests, intellectually stimulating individuals has poured out, and I believe they have more in them to pour out to us. And please, as I call them, can you make them welcome with a round of applause? Thank you. Okay, so let's make welcome Pastor Dotun Adejumo. Keep clapping. Thank you so much. You can sit. The next on our list is Mr. Atto. Please keep clapping. Thank you so much. Dr. Yetunde Olabuji. Keep clapping. I'm not seeing us clap. I'm not hearing us clap. Professor Bayo Emmanuel. I'm not clapping. Are we tired? And our very own coach, Coach Temitope Momo. Please, a round of applause. As we are clapping, please, let's not forget to send in our questions. We've listened to beautiful and different sessions, and I believe we'll have questions for every one of them. But can we give them a round of applause? What a beautiful time to be here this morning or this afternoon. Last year, Transformation 4.0, I was among the panelists, and this year, I'm the one asking the question. Glory to God. Okay, so this morning, I'll be asking a question. But before then, Mrs. Temitope Momo, I have a question for you. I want you to open this panel session this morning. And I know in this generation, we know that the generation belongs to value creators. That was one thing you said in your speech this morning, and I picked that. You said this generation belongs to value creators. So in the place of creating value, where's the place of purpose?
Thank you so much. Please, can you hear me? Understand and discover that they are created for a purpose. And
okay, please, can we?
Part of my achievement. Thank you so much. Yeah, purpose itself is value. In the place of creating value and purpose, the moment you discover your purpose,
please, can we help with the mic, please?
The book has been an instrument of guidance and direction. The same book, the state government. The moment you discover your purpose, your real purpose, just like the other person asked the other time outside. I mean, your real purpose. What I'm trying to say by saying the real purpose is what God created you for. The moment you discover it, you are a valuable person. But if you are copying somebody, try to declare it as your purpose, you can never create value. If you have listened to all the resource persons this morning, you discover that no matter how they paint their stories, they are people of purpose. Looking at, listening to Mr. Aton and my brother there, Reverend Dotun, you know that these people, they are created for a purpose. They discovered the purpose, they operating in that purpose, and then they have stories to tell. You know, what they are doing presently and bringing values to people, a lot of people are doing the same thing. But they are not getting the same result. The real value is in your purpose. Your purpose is your value, because your purpose, for those of you who have been listening to me, I will tell you, your purpose is not for your purpose. Your purpose is the purpose of others. Your purpose is to impart and influence and to take people from where you meet them forward. Because what God created you to do is to be a blessing to someone. And if you are operating in that purpose, which God has created you to be, definitely you are a person of value. You create value.
Thank you so much, Ma. So she ended, can we please give her a round of applause, please? She ended by saying something. She said, your purpose is not for you. It's for the purpose of others. So that brings me to the question for Mr. Otto. You know, you said something about spending time with your auntie, and right now you're actually solving problems. So at the end of the day, that purpose is not just for you. The purpose in which you went there to spend time, you know, to learn, to unlearn and relearn was a moment of transformation and elevation, and that's what we're speaking to today. So what moments do you realize, because somebody will be here saying that you've taken so much, you know, space of your life, you're doing so well. What message do you have for the young ones in regards to that?
Okay, so, of course, I won't tell young people here today that Madam spoke about purpose. First, you need to understand that you are here for a reason. That's where it all starts from. Number two, you're asking yourself, what is that thing you need to do to better the lives of others? What is that thing? That's the question I ask myself all the time. So forget whatever I've built or whatever I'm still asking myself today? What is that one thing I need to do again to better the lives of others? These are questions I consistently ask myself. And of course, when I find answers to these questions, it makes me innovate and create. It helps me to design and execute. Another thing I would like to talk about is, if there's one thing I also find very important in Africa, which is what I stylishly mentioned earlier, is the concept of trust.
Awesome.
There is lack of trust in Africa. People tell you that data is life. No, at some point there were adverts around. They were saying data is life, and then at some point they are saying AI. AI is the most powerful thing on earth.
Yeah.
For Africa, AI is not the most powerful thing. The most powerful thing in Africa is trust. So the moment as a young person you are able to make sure you have integrity, you can be trustworthy, you have a very, very high chance to success.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So please, can we give him a round of applause? And I'm really loving this panel session because it's helping me pivot into my next question. So, Dr. Yetunde, this question is for you. You know, before you start thinking of trust, you feel you have to trust yourself to be able to come out of that comfort zone. So at this point in life where we have to decide, when did you decide that coming out of your comfort zone was a thing? Okay. Yeah, so I said, in this point in time, you know, he spoke about trust. And I said, for you to trust, you make people trust you, you have to trust yourself first. Trust in your actions. So at what point in life did you break free from the comfort zone mentality? Because you can't move if you keep dwelling in your comfort zone.
Okay, thank you. So for me, I will emphasize on foundational things that I feel everyone needs to get right. You must have a deep conversation with God before you can even talk about helping people or blessing lives. What are you wired for? What do you do effortlessly? What do you have, what do you have passion for? And even sometimes when you volunteer, your service, what do people see? What do they say? Sometimes it can give you a clue on what you are wired for.
Yeah.
So after getting that God factor, because it's the foundational aspect you need to get right. After getting that first, then you have a conversation with yourself. And that's where you build trust with yourself.
Awesome.
Look at yourself critically and have a deep reflection. What am I good at? Try to define your strengths, your weaknesses. You need to be self-aware of who you really are. Then after you might have, sorted those things out, look at areas where you need to work on. Those are your weaknesses. Then also your strength. And that's why we talk about reading books. Know your temperament, know your personality type, and all of those things. So after all of those things, you don't have to be perfect anyway, but just be conscious of the fact that you need to keep, getting better on yourself.
Beautiful.
Then have that faith in God and just step out.
Please, can we give her a round of applause? Thank you so much, Ma, for that. So that takes me to my next question for Prof. But can we just use a moment to recognize Pastor Martins, the resident pastor of Living Faith, Igbatoro Road. Please, can we give him a round of applause? And also Pastor Shehu. Sorry, this writing, I can't pronounce the... Please, apologies. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We're privileged to have you in our midst. Okay, so that takes us to our next question today for Prof. Prof, I'll be asking you, while Dr. Yetunde was speaking, she said so much things about trust and all that. So in a world today where we celebrate the end goal and the success, nobody wants to really see the work you put in. Because we know that transformation doesn't just happen. Transformation is evolution, it's a process. So when did you realize moving was all it takes to transform? Because I believe we have individuals here, young minds, that are asking themselves, when do I really think I need to move? So for you, when was that point that you felt that moving was what you needed to do at a point in your life?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, there are times you discover something about yourself. And the moment you discover something about yourself, that should be a driving force. I was in the university. I was actually in FUTA as a student then. And I noticed that, even before then, I noticed that anytime I was trying to explain something to a colleague, or let me say my friends, I discovered that I was able to really express myself, to pass across knowledge, share information, and then share knowledge in general. So I noticed that thing, and I felt that that should be the driving force, and that should move me. So from the point you discover that something is in you, you should know that that thing should drive you to make impact. That thing should drive you to break forth. That thing should drive you to achieve success in life. So, and I believe strongly that at this point in time, everyone here can point to something that marks you out, that makes you unique. Yeah. Another person may have the same gift. Of course, we are always placed at a position in time where the people around you, close to you, are the people that you are supposed to make impact with that same gift. The person that has a similar gift might not be in that exact position. So where he is able to make impact with the same gift, but you have been placed with that gift in that position to make impact on lives. The moment you discover that thing, you move. And I discovered that as early as when I was leaving the secondary school. It's a grace, it's a gift, but you use it. The more you use it, the more confidence you have in using it, the more impact you make.
Thank you so much. Can we please give him a round of applause? And I think to that, I want you to turn to your neighbor and ask your neighbor, what is that unique gift that you have? Please make sure they tell you something. If they don't tell you anything, change your neighbor. Okay, thank you so much. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Okay, so Reverend Dotsu, I have a question. You already cleared your throat. Okay, so transformation doesn't just occur until there's a mindset shift. And I read your book where you spoke to nothing to something. And of course, it recalibrates or spurs transformation and spurs what we are talking about today, which is move. So for you, I don't know, how would you encourage somebody here today that feels that he's actually nothing? Or at this point in my life, I don't see anything coming out of it, and I need to move, and I need to be transformed. And we are just in, I think this is July. So what word of encouragement do you have for that person?
Thank you very much. I think most has been said already by everyone today. The first thing you should understand is that I'm a man of faith, so let me go back to scriptures. God would always ask you, what do you have in your hands? Right? What do you have in your hands? Every time I see our mobile phones that we all just play with and we post in one corner to TikTok, like my brother said earlier, Instagram, we just package our lives. And Professor also spoke about it earlier, that we hold a university in our hands. There are so many things that we can do. There are some courses on my CV that I just took them, I just sat with them. In fact, recently, I just saw a post, and then somebody spoke about the courses that she wanted to take in the next 2 months. I was like, okay. And I started taking some that I think I should also take part of, So Moses was on the mountain with God, and God met him and said, oh, you'll be the one to deliver the whole of Israelites. And Moses said to God, God, are you kidding? First, I'm a stammerer. I don't qualify. I can't do this. And the simple question God asked him was, what do you have? God would always ask what we have in our hands and how we can then use it. The issue most times is that we want some magic wand to perform the magic for us or to turn things around for us. Do with what you have. Every time you ask God for more, God would ask you for structure. What structure have you placed in your life? It is these structures that can help you to thrive. Now, today, I have a lot more movement than I used to have. Like I said, I'm a pastor, I'm a reverend, but I also do different things. I am in the agribusiness, I'm in the tech business, I'm in education space and all that. So I can't be restricted. What has helped me to thrive is structure. There was a season in my life where it was tough, you know, and if you're not there physically, some things can't work. But if you truly want to thrive, you have to put some things in place that make, you know, it just makes the running easier. So start from where you are. Stop complaining. Stop giving excuses. They say, there's a popular saying that the best time to plant a tree was, 10, 20 years ago? The next best time is now. Start from where you are. Again, I love what he said. He started, and then within a few years, he saw the breakthrough. Please get rid of that mentality that you will just arrive suddenly. There's nothing like that. If it will last, it has to go through a process.
You are not clapping. I don't get it. Okay, thank you so much, sir. We've actually, he was speaking to structure. We've put structure in place so that we can take your questions. But I'm not getting your questions. What's going on? Okay, no, please, if you have question, but though I'll be giving you the mic, Patrick, right? Yeah, because I know Patrick has a question, so I'll be giving Patrick the opportunity from the audience to ask his question and direct it to who you think would give you that answer here today. And before that, please, if you have questions, kindly go through Oyin and she would reach out to me. So, Patrick, you have the floor. Okay, please, can we give Patrick a mic? Thank you.
Movement today. So, permit me, I have questions for almost each person.
Excellent.
So, let's just start with Mr. Otto.
Okay.
So now, you mentioned something about how you left the company to start yours, and I'll take it as a movement. But now, I'm trying to apply it in my life. There's a concept of strategy and there's a concept of survival. So sometimes we quit jobs to move. But before that movement comes to results, like he said, no one arises suddenly. But before you arise, you have to be alive to arise. So sometimes the demand for survival outweighs the demand for progress. So people become too busy to progress. So my question is, at what point, how do you really navigate that switch? That's what I was talking about, resistance to movement. These are things. I know I want to launch this business, but I've not eaten today. Yes, so that's my question for you. Then the question I have for Pastor is, you said something about what do you have in your hands. So now, my question is, what is your take on speed? I was going to ask Dr. Smith, but I will ask you everything. What is your take on speed for a multi-potentialite? Now, Moses just had a rod. So the Lord used that rod. But imagine you have a rod, you have a spear, you have a house, you have a car, you have everything, all at a basal level. You have skills. You are full of skills. You are full of direction. You are full of vision. You want to conquer the world. But how will you, and if you spread your energy towards all this, you will move, but you will not have enough velocity.
Yeah.
So execution will be slow even though you are exhausted. So my question is, how do you advise a multi-potentialite on speed?
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry if the question.
Yes, can we allow, thank you. Can
All
we
right.
allow Mr. Otto answer? Should I give him the mic?
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I think you were the one who spoke about fear at the beginning of.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. When you spoke about fear earlier, I was going to tell you something as I spoke, but I forgot to mention to you that fear does not leave you before you move. Fear leaves when you move. Fear is not wired to leave before you make your move. It is after you have made the move that fear itself gets scared and move. So, back to your question, I had a 3 months buffer period. I had planned to quit the job, so I had a 3 months buffer period that I said, okay, let me start. I hope that 3 months' time, I will have scaled the business to the point where it will be easy for me to leave. So, 1 month into the business, I saw that the business needed my attention more. So I left my job 1 month after I started the business. I saw that if I put my mind on this business, I think I have a very quality chance to maybe make more money than I was making where I was working. So I left my job. But there was another problem. After someone given to 9 to 5 for about 15 years, now you quit your job after 1 month of planning, and then you are at home for the entire day. I go to Aristo, I sit down there. The transition was very tough for me.
Exactly.
I was used to, working, going to the office and turning up every day.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have to go to Aristo and then wait for the next customer, and I'm watching my staffs. And so I called, and of course I had a very good CV. So I said, this is tough. So I put my CV out there. Within 3 days, I got a call from another multinational company who was willing to give me a job. It's called Life Bank. And I was given the role of the head of Africa business. But they gave me an option to work from home, which was good. So I was still working, but remotely now. I never knew remote work is more difficult than physical office work. So I took the remote job, but don't forget my role was Africa business. I was in charge of 52 countries. On the very first week on the job, they said there is a problem in Ethiopia. You need to fly to Ethiopia. So I left Akure. I went to Ethiopia. From Ethiopia, they called me that the president of Kenya needed to see me. So I went to Kenya. Then from Kenya, they said, there is one major problem in Nigeria. I should come. So I came back. As I landed at Murtala Airport, they said, Egypt needs me. I said, no. This is not what I signed for. So I resigned. So I chose to stay put in Aristo. And that was another turning point for the business. Business moved about 300%.
Wow.
On the very first month, I stayed full-time in Aristo.
I'm not seeing a round of applause for that.
And for the first time, within 3 months, I made my benefits from that other company in a single day.
Awesome.
What I would have made in a month on my multinational job, I made it on a single day on a Sunday, and I said, thank God I moved.
So can we say, thank God you moved? Oh, awesome. So, sir, yes, over to you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. As regards your question, I'm going to give 2 illustrations, and I hope you can use that to, just make a decision based on it. First, from pastoring. When we started the Lekki Church, this was 2011 or 2012 or so. I was the one to preach. I was the one to play the drums. I was the one to play the keyboard. I was still in the choir. I would still be the one to round up. And there were people there. I thought I was being effective. I thought I was being a great leader. I thought I was using my skills, all these skills that had been gathered over the years to serve God. But I was just being foolish, all right? In the sense that first, I was always overstressed. I was not effective. And there wasn't real growth. Secondly, the people that were surrounding me, I wasn't building them. I wasn't investing in them. So I was just killing myself until I learned to delegate, all right? The fact that you can do every single thing doesn't mean that you should be the one to do every single thing. Get the people in your space involved with what you're doing. So that's one point from that perspective. The second is this. You have this multi-skills. That is a blessing to you. That's a blessing to you. That's how I see it. Now, I'll give you an instance. I studied information communication engineering from the university. I'm actually doing my PhD in FUTA right now. I did my master's here in FUTA. I'm doing my PhD right now in FUTA in project management. I am a farmer. I am in the tech space. I am in the, what's it called now, hospitality space. I'm also in the healthcare space, all right? doing all these different things. Now, let me bring all of this back to the core thing that I love doing, which is farming, all right? There was a point where we wanted to, just improve the farm. We wanted to, what's that word? Not just scale up, to mechanize the farm, right? So the focus at this point was the poultry business. We had this large poultry business that we have to manually feed the birds, right? You take water, you put into something, you turn it, you leave it, you come back in maybe 2-3 hours to check if the birds have messed it up. You start the process again. A lot of manpower. And then I thought to myself, if I call myself an engineer, why can't I do something to fix this? Yeah. So I first started making inquiries. We would like to order these to mechanize the farm. They gave me bills in millions, and I didn't have millions to do that. So I gathered some of my younger ones, my friends. Yeah. One of them is even here today with me. Right? And I said, look, this is the vision. Yeah. I want to build this, but I don't have this to do it. But with my knowledge, I think we can do this. So we went to buy pipes, the same pipes that you use for plumbing, yeah. Right? We bought the nipples, we ordered them online, they were very cheap. We got some tools, we got measuring tape, we got everything, we mapped what we wanted, we got all the WC system, we removed some parts, put it into buckets and all that, and we've created that system that we wanted, and our birds started drinking automatically.
Wow. Please give him a round of applause.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, what have I done? I brought the knowledge that I could have, the exposure. And somebody asked earlier how we say that school is a scam. No, you pick different things from these different places, and then you can then use them for your life.
Yourself.
So the fact that you studied medicine doesn't mean that you would become a surgeon. All right? It doesn't automatically translate into that. So
Thank
use
you
these
so
skills.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Please, can you turn to your neighbor and say, the fact that you can do everything doesn't mean you should do everything. Did that sink? In today's era, they will say, clock it. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we'll continue your question, but can we give somebody else an opportunity? Yes, please. I heard there's someone that has a question. Please, her hands are raised. Hands, thank you. Please make it brief. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Please, can you speak louder?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Welcome.
Okay. My question is, in a world where globalization rules and everyone is competing to duplicate what has already been done,
okay,
creating technology is really, really hard. And big companies are slow, but solo builders, they burn out. So my question is that when you are starting out, how do you get together the right founding team of people to build something genuinely new?
How do you get the right team? Okay, all right, ma. Yes, ma. All right, ma. Please, can we give mommy a round of applause, please? Thank you so much, ma. Okay, so who should I channel the question to? Okay, sir, Mr. Otto, when did you realize that these 3 teams, because you spoke about having 3, from 3 to 5, from 5 now we're running into like 100. How were you able to sustain that?
There is also a problem in Nigeria. There's no perfect team in Nigeria. Human resource till this day is a major problem.
Yeah.
It is sad that young people in Nigeria today, it is just sad. Trust me, it is sad. I personally feel government should invest in school, invest in training.
Yeah.
We're not as trained as we should be trained. My chefs, I had 38 chefs, good quality chefs, but you find out that they are still lacking in certain areas.
Yeah.
So there's always no perfect team. You cannot wait till that time you get a perfect team. I sell food and I have chefs, but I can tell you for a fact that they are not perfect chefs. The waiting staffs are not perfect. But that is not enough to stop us from moving. We just pick the people that we found available at the time. We train them, put them to speed as to what we need them to do.
Yeah.
And then we keep just doing business, hoping that we'll just continue to make progress as we go. But there is no perfect team anywhere.
And funny enough, you've moved with those not perfect team to another place.
Exactly.
I got there, like, I think 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, okay. You know when they say, I say you have moved? Can we say, I say you have moved? Thank you so much. Yes. Reverend Otu wants to add. We'll go to Prof. Yeah.
I remember when, at the early stage of our farm, out of trying to create a good team, I brought in a family member, an uncle of mine.
Oh, I think
he was the one selling my pigs.
Needed. That was
he
needed.
was carrying them live, selling it, thinking I could trust. So like you said, there's actually no perfect team. You keep building. But first and foremost, it falls and rises on leadership.
Yeah.
So you are the one to also, like he also mentioned, train, constantly train. And don't be scared of firing anyone that is not going in the same direction with you.
I think you need to say that again.
Yes, don't be scared of letting go.
Yeah.
Don't even be unapologetic about it. If you think someone is not heading in the same direction with you, part ways with them and find someone that you think might fit in, and then, invest in them.
Thank you so much. Please, I'm not seeing and hearing applause.